So why are bands such a great option to incorporate into a fitness program, especially if we're dealing with kids? Well, there's a whole list of reasons why. I'm going to go over a few with you here now. First off, portability, right? I got 3 tools here, right? There are a lot of fitness tools. There are kettlebells, there are dumbbells, there's barbells, all kinds of stuff. But when we're talking about using them in different settings where we want to be mobile with it, nothing's going to equal the portability of a band, right? I have 3 different band resistances right here, right? I can fit these 3 almost into a pocket or into the palm of my hand, right? So if I want to train 30 kids and they each have their own band, I can easily take them anywhere I want to go, into a classroom, into a cafeteria, onto a gymnasium floor, or even outside. Now, I've got some other great tools, and these are great tools, right? I have a med ball. Obviously, I'm not going to carry 30 of these. And a dumbbell, same thing. A little bit dangerous to carry around, and obviously heavy, okay? So, the portability of a band makes it a really great option. Okay, secondly, the variety. Again, with these other tools I just had, I'm limited in what I can do with them. With the band, I'm gonna just grab one here. My imagination is almost a limit as to what I wanna do with this. I can do any upper body movement I wanna do with a single band. I can do a press, I can do a curl, I can do a pull apart, I can do a tricep extension, I can do a chest press, right? Okay, now if I want to have a place to attach or if I want to use a partner, all of a sudden that variety goes way up again, right? So if I attach, I can do single pulls, I can do presses, I can do movement through any range of motion I want. I can go lateral movement, tons of different things I can do. I could do a whole video on variety with bands, right? Not the case with a med ball. Obviously, a med ball or weight, I'm not going to have the ability to work on any locomotion, right? Any movement. That's not going to make a whole lot of sense. Okay? The biggest one that I really love bands for is the third, variable resistance. Okay? So I'm going to use a med ball to kind of demonstrate this. A dumbbell, right? So this dumbbell is 15 pounds. It's 15 pounds here, it's 15 pounds here, it's 15 pounds here, right? This is not going to change. It's constant. Now, with a band, I'm going to get what's called variable resistance. So, for a squat, for example, if I stand on the band and I get into a rack position with a squat, the band is heavier here than it is here, and even heavier than it is here. So, as I come up, that resistance is variable. It gets harder. If I press it here, the higher I press, the more resistance this band is going to apply. So, why is that important? Well, a couple reasons. First, let's use that squat for example. When I'm at the bottom of my squat, this is where I'm in my most vulnerable position. So if we're using weights with a child or with a teenager, this is the part of the squat I would worry about. Because that weight is the same here as it is here. Now with the band, in that position where I'm a little vulnerable, this band is deloaded, okay? So it gets harder as I come up. Little safer tool. Also with that variability, it kind of mimics the way our body moves, right? There is a speed component to anything we do. We accelerate through movements. A band is a great tool to train that, as opposed to, again, that dumbbell is constant. A band, you can accelerate into it safely and decelerate it. So, a lot of benefits to the variability of a band, the variable resistance. Okay, reason number 4. Again, these are just a few. I have several others, but these are the ones I really want to hit. Okay, resistance and assistance. That is a huge deal, right? Because this dumbbell or this med ball, right? This is resistance. Okay, it's not going to be able to assist me really in any movement. Neither is a dumbbell. Now a band, right? Let's say I have a hard time getting in a squat. We already saw that a band can provide resistance. Well, it can provide assistance too. So if I were to take that band and put it around a stationary object, now this band is unloading me a little bit. So it's actually giving me some assistance. So if I go into a squat, right, when I come up, the band is giving me just enough assistance to get through that range of motion. There's a bunch of different ways I can use this, but the idea of resistance and assistance is really important. Again, when I start to, if I talk about locomotion, right? Well, When we talk about injury prevention in sports or just the way we move in general, acceleration and deceleration are important components. I can train both with a band. I can accelerate away from that position, and I have to learn to decelerate back. It's going to help with injury prevention, body control, all kinds of benefits to it. Okay? So resistance and assistance. The other reason for that I really love it, is that it becomes very inclusive, right? There might be a kid that's not able to do a curl with a certain amount of weight. We can figure out a way for every kid to use a band, okay? Number 5, another reason is the affordability, right? This is gonna be much more affordable than any other option out there. If I wanna outfit 30 kids with a band, it can be done inexpensively as opposed to other equipment, okay? Another great benefit to this is I can integrate it with other equipment I already have. So I can use stationary objects. If you have a boomer board, there are some great benefits to incorporating a band with it where it's going to enhance both products. The boomer board is going to become more challenging and the band's going to become more challenging. So when you can integrate equipment, that's always a bonus. And then finally, this is fun to use. Like you've seen all the things I've gone through, we can make this very fun for kids but still challenging. So we want to be inclusive in that everybody can do the things I'm talking about, but we also want to challenge the kids in a fun way. Because the kids, when they're good at something and they're enjoying it, they're going to do it. If it's drudgery, they're not going to do it, okay? We got to figure out a way to make this fun for kids. So, again, all these are great reasons to use a band.